My name's Caitlin Walsh. I'm 30 years old, and I never imagined a celebration I planned with so much love would unravel into a night of public humiliation. Asterisk. It was my mom's birthday party, a night I'd spent weeks organizing. I booked a beautiful restaurant in Raleigh, called the manager daily to fine-tune the menu, and handpicked lily and candles for every table. 30 guests filled the glowing room, silverware polished, soft light flickering against glassware. I stood near the entrance greeting people with a smile that felt tighter every time someone breezed past me. My parents hardly noticed I was there, too busy doting on my brother Scott, their star engineer and constant source of pride. "Scott's doing so well," Dad said, his hand heavy on my brother's shoulder while I checked the seating chart for the 10th time. I had handled every detail: music, flowers, decorations, even the playlist. Yet a guest looked at my clipboard and asked, "Are you the event planner?" Another called me Katie and walked away before I could correct them. They seated me at the far end of the table, practically by the exit, as though I were an afterthought at my own mother's celebration. My mom gushed over Scott's expensive gift, while the card I'd chosen with care remained untouched in a pile. I gripped my fork, trying to ignore the growing ache of invisibility. Then Dad's voice cut through the noise. "You live under our roof. Pay $2,000 rent or get out and never come back." The room froze. Glasses stopped mid-clink. Scott leaned back, smirking. "Good luck with that, little sister," he said, loud and mocking. Every eye turned to me, waiting for me to crumble. I didn't. I set my napkin down, lifted my coat, and walked toward the door. My mom's eyes flicked to me in a way as if I were a stranger. No one called me back. The cool night air felt sharper than I expected as I crossed the parking lot. My car was already partly packed. For weeks I'd been moving my belongings in quiet trips, preparing for the day I might need to leave. That night I drove straight to the house I'd secretly bought months earlier. 2 days later, I settled into the silence of my new place. Relief mingled with ache as I unpacked boxes I'd been hiding from them. But the sting of their words lingered. Years of second-class treatment played in my mind. When Scott turned 16, he got a new car wrapped in a red bow. On my 16th birthday, I received a card and $10. My math competition victory in high school had passed unnoticed, while a party was thrown for Scott's new job. Even at family dinners, conversations circled around his accomplishments while my straight A's earned at best a nod. I kept trying to earn their approval, even paying their phone bill and electricity, believing it would make me matter. But they had always made it clear Scott was the star, and I was the backup plan. A bank alert jolted me from reflection. A $500 withdrawal from our shared account labeled miscellaneous. Then another, $300 from a coffee shop across town I'd never visited. I logged in and found months of suspicious transactions. My dad and Scott both had access. The worst came when I discovered a $50,000 loan approved 6 months earlier under my name alone I had never signed for. The representative on the phone confirmed I was listed as the primary borrower. Someone had forged my signature, and only Dad had the personal information to pull it off. My heart sank as the truth set in. I spent hours removing my name from every shared account: car insurance, internet, utilities. When I canceled the internet, the agent asked, "Are you sure?" "Yes," I said without hesitation. Soon after, Scott texted, "Wi-Fi's down." "Fix it." I typed back, "Not my problem anymore." More unauthorized charges appeared: $2,300 for a 4K TV, $1,800 for plane tickets to Paris. Dates lined up with Scott's flashy social media posts. I saved screenshots of everything and froze the account entirely. Then Scott mocked me publicly online, implying I was selfish and ungrateful. I documented every post, every comment. My lawyer friend advised me to keep a meticulous record for a fraud case. I built a folder of evidence: bank statements, social media screenshots, the forged loan papers, every brick in the wall of my defense. One evening, Aunt Nancy, my mom's older sister, knocked on my door. She handed me an envelope containing a job offer from a Raleigh tech company, a senior analyst position I had never seen. Emails showed Dad and Scott had intercepted it and declined on my behalf to keep me in line. Nancy also revealed that my late grandmother had foreseen this pattern of control. In her will, Grandma had left me a trust fund meant to give me independence, but Dad had kept it hidden. Nancy gave me the lawyer's card and urged me to fight for what was mine. I called the lawyer, Miss Harper, who confirmed the trust and guided me to secure the funds and build my case. A week later, I walked into my parents' house with a folder thick with evidence. The air smelled faintly of Mom's lavender candles, but felt heavy with tension. I spread the documents across the coffee table. The forged $50,000 loan, Scott's extravagant charges, the intercepted job offer. You used my name, my credit, my trust, I said, my voice calm but firm. If you contact me or touch my accounts again, I will take this to court fraud, forgery, theft. It's all here, Mom gasped. Dad's jaw tightened. Scott laughed dismissively. You're blowing this out of proportion, he scoffed. I'm done with you. All of you? I replied and walked out without looking back. With Ms. Harper's help, I claimed the trust. $15,000, safeguarded by Grandma. Her handwritten letter told me to be fierce, be free. I used the money to lease an office and launch Rise Free, a nonprofit to help women escape financial abuse and family, control the very trap I had endured. I hired 2 counselors and a financial advisor, offering budgeting workshops, fraud assistance, and support groups. Every client who shared her story reminded me why I fought so hard. Meanwhile, word drifted back that my parents had lost their house to foreclosure when the forged loan came due, and Scott was under investigation for misusing the shared account. Their social media fell silent. I felt no revenge, only release. They could no longer reach me. Now, each morning I unlocked the door to my bright, modest office, greeted by thank you notes pinned to the wall. I run at dawn, breathe freely, and carry Grandma's words with me. Be fierce. Be free. I am no longer the invisible daughter. I am the woman she believed I could be, living my life on my own terms.